We are liver than live. I'm going to get us a little bit situated. Y'all know I cannot see myself until I push the button. So I'm going to get me on, make sure that we got a good view. We're all tuned into today together. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a Sunday moment. Y'all know I'm always so grateful for those that tune into my Sunday moments. I'm always so grateful for those that take the time out. I know how important Sundays are. Sundays are very important to me. I know that Sundays are family days. Sundays are, in a lot of ways, religious days or religious ritualistic days. And you know what I'm saying? They're special days, days of calm, days of rest, days of recalibration. So whenever we have to move to a Sunday for whatever life circumstances are, and people rock and roll with me, I'm just ever so grateful. So thank you for having this Sunday moment with me. It's been a minute. We've been having a lot of Saturday moments. We were on it. But like I said, life can get to doing what life does. So thank you so much. Again, welcome to a moment of harmony. I am so happy to share this moment with you. I went to a sisterhood sleepover this weekend with the color purple theme, and it was a beautiful weekend. And I know that I have some new members that are tuning in today from that experience, from all the things that we linked up and shared. So welcome to all you beautiful ladies who did join on. I also know that there's brothers on, even though you weren't at the sleepover. So I'm not excluding the kings. I'm just welcoming those that I know are first time viewers of A Moment of Harmony. I'm so excited for you to be a part of this platform. I'm so excited to have this dialogue and exchange with you. At A Moment of Harmony, we really focus on healing and growing, becoming and elevating ourselves. Please forgive my voice, which is already naturally pretty raspy, but on top of all that, I am tired. I am tired. I've had a very busy weekend. Very long week, and it's just been like that. And at the sleepover, of course, we stayed up late. We got up early. We wanted to really milk really women loving up on each other, nurturing and healing. And so I'm what is it called? I'm revitalized, but I'm also tired. So bear with all the cracking that's happening in my voice today. I'm just so happy that again we all are at the same place at the same time to give love, to share, and to grow together. We at A Moment of Harmony go through a series of courses. We've had a Matter of Moments course, we had an affirmation course, we had a declaration course, we had a praise break, we had magnifying moments, we had a number of courses. And it's set up in a way that we go through a theme of courses for a certain amount of weeks, and then you would then graduate to another course, if you will. And so we have again, series that we work out of at a time. They're all themed in one area. And then again, we move through with the tools that we've acquired in one course, and we move through to the next course to be able to further engage with ourselves, indulge ourselves, involve ourselves with our own healing journey, with our desires and our dreams, right? So it is an experience that I'm always grateful and always healed by myself, and always just really excited to exchange and share with you guys, and for you all to exchange and share with me. So welcome all my chat members. I see those in the chat. I see those that are live in real time. And I also know that the majority of my exchangers are playback exchangers who watch me when they're on their way to work and in the office, and doing chores and cooking dinner, and they just put on and get a moment. The moment is whenever you need it. The moment shows up whenever you need it the most. So I'm just so happy that you're getting it. I appreciate your like, sharing, and subscribing. For those that subscribe to have a moment every week, who I'm honored to be a part of your self-care routine. And for those that share the moments with others, those who be like, hey friend, let me send you a moment. Hey mom, hey dad, let us all take time to be reminded of the greatness and the gratitude and the worthiness of the moments in our lives. We are worthy of great and beautiful moments. We are worthy of expanding moments. We are worthy of beautiful moments, reflective, because we're in a reflection series, pun intended, reflective moments, and moments that make us the best, moments that we take that take us to another level. We're worthy of that all the time. And we don't always have moments that we take that take us to another level. So we just want to make sure that we are being very intentional about our own healing, our own growth, our own development, and our own greatness as often, as frequently as we possibly can. And this life and this societal structure makes it a chore. It makes it a chore. So that's why we're all here together, because we know that it's easier said than done to say that I'm going to take a moment for myself of growth and development, a moment of myself, and for many of us it's many moments, because like you say, there's a whole healthcare routine. We have not only our spiritual practices and our motivational practices, but then we have our dietary practices, we have our physical practices, we have our social practices. It's like, it's a holistic healing. It's holistic development, leveling up to the highest level of self, to supreme existence. Oh my gosh, it can be very overwhelming. So again, kudos to you. Kudos to a moment. Let us get into it. Today's episode or healing session is entitled Reflect on You Too. We are in a reflection series. We are looking back at it. We've been Sankofiing ourselves through our healing experience, through our growing journeys with self, through our healing. We have been greatly understanding that in order to move forward productively, we have to intentionally and divinely go backwards, go back and get, and sometimes go back and leave, right? Go back and forget. But really, we don't. We are. I'm using that word. But we're not forgetting anything. We're using every single experience that we've had in order to know what stays, what we were supposed to get from it, what we can, contract in a way that's going to move us forward. So we've been in a reflection series, intentionally looking back divinely, not from low vibration, but from high vibration, in order to elevate us, right? And a lot of times we look back and it's in regret, it's in fear, it's in worry, it's in blame, it's in sadness, it's in trauma. And we have been gathering tools throughout a 33-week reflection series. We are gathering the tools to where we are not looking back in that way. We're going back into our pains, going back into our traps, going back into our fears, but we're going back into them in a place in a place of exploration, in a place of confidence, in a place of gathering in order to build further on ourselves today. So we've been in a reflection series. We've been looking back. Today is no different. We are reflecting on you too. What do I mean by reflecting on you too? Guys, this is hitting all the way home today, because in my journey of growing and learning and getting back to self, and a lot of times we use the terminology like getting back to self, or or finding ourselves, and we're leaving out the reinvention of self. Sometimes getting back, like we say, looking back, reflecting. Sometimes getting back to self is going to a place that you were in order to take yourself to a place you've never been. So getting back to self in the truest form is really just like understanding who I'm supposed to be now. So if I'm in a position where I'm lost, if I'm in a place where I'm feeling displaced, I don't only go back to what I'm familiar with in order to operate from there and say that I'm new. Because you're not new. That's a pattern, right? If you got to a position in your life and you were no longer there, so you went back to something you were familiar with in order to be new or be yourself. Life is forward motion. Life is about growth and development. I guarantee you that where you were and then where you grew from, that there's a brand new space for you that does require you to be very well acquainted with where you are. This is how we break patterns, and this is how we make patterns work for us and moving forward in them. There's a brand new space waiting for you of operation. There's a brand new space waiting for you of existence. And again, you're going back to where you were. You're retracing your steps to appropriately get you to a place you haven't been yet. I guarantee you that your place of growth and development is a brand new place for you. It's new number who this. You know what I'm saying? Who is this? Who is this Harmony? And I have found myself on that journey so much in the past couple of years, and it hasn't slowed down. Like, I'm continuously finding myself on the, okay, This is how you feel now. This is how you speak now. This is how you react now. This is how you respond now. This is what you expect now. This is your standard now. And it is, yes, it is in alignment with where I've been, but it is not in reflection to where I've been. And this is what we're talking about, broken cycles and patterns. How are we getting to where we need to go now? So we're reflecting in this reflection series. It is reflect on me too, right? So, or you too. We know that we've heard the Me Too movement 100 times, and I understand the connotation, when it comes to the Me Too movement, kind of what that's comprised of. That's not what I'm speaking of when I say Me Too. What I'm speaking of, per se, is I know that a lot of us, as we grow and we become receptive, we become open to others' energies. We become more sharing and exchanging with society and with the world. And that's a beautiful part of growth and development. But it also can be a part of stagnation because, like myself, I'm a natural server. I'm a natural my mission, right? My mission, my purpose, my goal is greatly wrapped around the help and the health of others. And so it can be a hard line to draw when I am really a person of service. My heart is one of servitude. When my heart is one of giving and growth and nurturing and creation and birth, right? When I am naturally one of those people, it can be very difficult when you're looking at your life and your plans, as well as looking at your past and seeing the significance of you. And so this series, this Helen session, is greatly about what you need. You matter too. You know what I'm saying? So being able to be in the position where I'm saying, when I go back into my history and I think about where I've been and what I've come through and what's important to me and what I want and what I want to create, a lot of times I'm thinking about my siblings. I'm thinking about my family, my mom. I'm thinking about my jignas and mentors and Wally Moos. And I'm thinking about, I just have a lot of thoughts about a lot of things that matter to me that are staples in who I'm growing to be and how I relate to these things. And I'm saying when we reflect, reflect on you too. Reflect on you too. When we're moving through in life, I know, especially as a parent, there's a great deal of like what I want for my future, what I want for the people that I care about, what I want for the people that came from me. There's a lot of like looking back to make sure everything is everything for everyone. There's a lot about looking forward and building and planning the greatest, defining my success off of the happiness and the positioning of those that I care about. And I just want to remind us when it comes to healing and development, self-care is divine order. That's a Harmony original. Self-care is divine order. Self first, that's what I'm saying. Self first is divine order. So really being able to say in this place of I should be worried about me too. I should be concerned about me too. I should be planting in me too. I should be nurturing me too. A lot of times I absolutely go into most arenas with my contribution at the forefront. When I go into this board meeting, when I go into this project, when I go into this relationship, when I go into this circumstance, I want to make sure that I am showing up as my greatest self, as the greatest contribution, and really I'm harmonizing, pun intended, I'm harmonizing this situation. I'm making sure that with anything that I touch is gold. That's just my goal. But what I am saying here today is there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing I could actually do about that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't change that aspect of myself if I wanted to. It's who I am. And it, again, has a great deal to do with why I'm even here. But the other side of that is in the healing, in the growing, in the nurturing, in the developing of others, your development, your nurturing, your esteem, it matters too. Reflect on yourself as well. When you're getting I'm often finding myself in a place of just like, when you know better, you do better. And I always, another Harmony original that I have is, and when I say Harmony original, I'm referring to a series that I do of quotes and things that I do on my Facebook page. So it's just kind of something that's in alignment with the Harmony, the Moment of Harmony brand. Okay, so I don't know. I don't want newcomers on to be like, what does she keep talking about when she's talking about Harmony original? It's just, again, a brand that I'm building and things that I put to place for future books and projects. Okay, so everything that's a Harmony original is already stamped even now. So but I have one that says, you know, there's a lot of times when, let me just backtrack a little bit. There's a lot of times when I feel like, when I show up in my gift, when I show up as myself, when I show up in my truest form, I show up, but then I disappear. And what I mean by that is that we all have gifts and talents that we contribute. We all have personality traits, that are a part of a bigger picture. And when normally when we come into an equation, we start to adapt and adopt the equation that we're a part of, especially women. Adopt the equation that we're, and it's like, as soon as I showed up, I disappeared. And I want us to be able to hold on to that. I want us to be able to hold on how we move through. I want us to be able to hold on how we connect and how we keep in touch with ourselves as we're moving through these motions. And like I was saying, there's a lot of times where I get into peace, beautiful. There's a lot of times when I get into a space and I'm just like, this was the Harmony original I was going to. If ignorance is bliss, knowledge is a burden, right? That's a Harmony original that I put up. And that's very, very very in alignment with today's session, today's healing session, because I go in a lot of times feeling like I know self, and therefore I want to show up in a way that I can be contributive to other people's knowledge of self and other people's light and other people's joy and other people's happiness. And my thing then becomes, because I know better, I should do better. I should behave better. My communication skills should be better. My consideration skills should be better. My connection skills should be better, right? My peopling skills, my growing skills, my develop. If I know better, if I'm well read, if I'm well versed, if I'm well experienced, and many of us are. That's why we here and continuously working on ourselves and growing ourselves. But if I know better, I should do better. But this is where we make the mistake when I say we show up and then as soon as we show up, we disappear. Because we know better, we operate out of a place of, I'm going to behave in such a way, an appropriate way, a mature way. And then a lot of times being so mature, we forget about ourselves. We're so we're so high and mighty. We're so highly developed that we're above the situation that we can't even be present. And I'm saying that we are doing away with that in this session when we are looking back on the needs and the lives, and we're looking back on the construction. We're looking back on the development. We're looking back on how we mattered in that situation. A lot of times we go back into our history and we say, my mother didn't like, or my father didn't like, or I didn't want to be, and what, peace, sissy? And what I'm saying is, no, what about you? I am in a lot of predicaments now and in the past couple of years where I'm just like, look, you have feelings too. You're flesh and blood just like everybody else. You have, you got a heartbeat inside of you. Reflect on yourself. Reflect on you also. I'm looking back over how I made someone feel, or how I might make someone feel, or what may come. I'm not saying being selfish, inconsiderate, or immature. I'm not at all condoning any of those. What I'm saying is be inclusive. Include yourself. Include yourself in the equation of consideration. Include yourself in the equation of nurture, of grace, of care, of mercy, of forgiveness, of attention, of needs. Include yourself. Be inclusive. When you're saving, when you're creating, when you're loving, when you're giving, include yourself. Reflect on you too. When you're looking back over, when you're looking forward. You're a major part of that. Reflect on you too. Me too. Me too with the patience. Me too with the showing up. Right? Me too with the acknowledgement of trauma. Me too with the acknowledgement of care. Me too with the kitten gloves, eggshells. Listen, and these things aren't necessarily healthy, and I'm not saying we should be operating in those spaces, but I'm saying we have no qualm about showing up in that capacity for others. We have no qualms with showing up in that capacity when we look back. But I'm saying kitten gloves for yourself, eggshells for yourself, or others having that for you as well. When you are moving forward and you are looking back in an attempt to move forward, include yourself in the people that you are going to give unconditional love to and for. When you go into your past and you're giving out forgiveness, when you go into your history and you're giving out grace, when you go into your story and you're giving out understanding, reflect on you too. And what I mean by that is sometimes you have to be able to say, I was a child. I was a child. I was young. I gave my best. I tried my hardest. I didn't know any better. I wasn't protected the way that I needed to. So I did not, no one taught me protection. I didn't always protect myself. I didn't always speak up for myself. I didn't always even know I had a voice. Reflect on you too. Reflect on you too. Okay? So this is not going to be a long moment. I actually have so much going on this week and again, tired. So I want to hit two major points before I get out of this moment. And again, overall, I'm wanting us to be able, I know as myself and tons of women I'm connected to, and those even, I've even had brothers in healing sessions. Even brothers are, having a hard time seeing their story from their own perspective. They're defining themselves. They're attending to themselves. They're relating to themselves from the perspective and the dynamics of others, of their environment, of their upbringing, of the people that they love and care about. And I'm wanting us to shift the life and the lens to self. Again, not in a selfish way, not in an inconsiderate way, but in a healing and appropriate way. Looking back to say it was inappropriate of me to swallow my own fears and swallow my own pain for the protection or the care of someone else. It was reckless of me to silence myself, to diminish or minimize my own fears, to put on a cape for someone else. It was reckless of me. A lot of people, a lot of times in this society, we are taught that it is just so superhero of you, out of worldly of you. And I'm not saying that we don't make sacrifice. I'm not saying that we don't give. I'm not saying that's what I'm saying is that balance, mayat. In no way, shape, form, or fashion should you be giving so much to life that there is nothing for you. That you're empty in a situation that is filled for someone else in the same space of you. The situation is filled for my mother or it's filled for my father. Listen, let's take a baby step. I'm about to go to the end of the session, but let's keep it, okay? Here. The first thing that I want to get into, two major points, and then we're out of here. The first major point is there is nothing that I'm going to acquire that should overrank what's required for me. There's nothing that I'm going to acquire for myself that is not going to be in alignment with what's required for myself. A lot of times we get in this search of degrees and accreditation, finances and money, relationships and marriages, children and family. We have all these things we want to acquire, assets, right? And achievements. All these things we want to acquire. And we'll go after them by negating ourselves, or not negating, depriving ourselves of the requirements of self. And then what will happen is that we'll obtain what we were working hard for, and we won't recognize ourselves once we get there. I'm not talking about sacrifice. That's very different. I'm not talking about giving up a thing or two or pulling back on a thing or two to accomplish something bigger for the moment. Going temporarily pulling something back to go after a bigger picture. Sacrifice is when you give up things that you like or want to go after something that you need. A requirement is a need. So we can't sacrifice requirements, right? That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that we do sacrifice requirements, not understanding always that getting where you go with what it is you need is the entire goal. So I can't just keep on going. I want this baby, and I want this family, and I want this job, or I want this woman, or I want this car, or I want this life. And I'm going to work so hard to acquire these things. And I'm never, ever, ever going as hard on the things that are required for me. I know what I need at every juncture of my existence and of my journey. At every juncture of my journey, I know what it takes for me to get where I have to go, for me to obtain what's most important. But I will sacrifice that. I will back burner that. I will mute it. I will silence it. I will turn it down. I will store it so that I can get what I'm trying to get. That means that something that I'm looking forward to is more important than what I'm looking at. Every morning I wake up, the first face, unless someone's in the bed with me, like my little munchkin, but the first awareness, let's say that, it's me. My face, my voice, my feelings, my thoughts, me. But I'm saying that I'm going to step over me day after day, circumstance after circumstance, situation after situation, step over me in order to get things that I want for me. I want this doctrine. I want this degree. I want this circle. I want these friends. I want this success. I want this career. But I'll step over even me to get what I need. And then when I get there, I wonder where I am. Well, I wanted this marriage, but I just don't. I wanted children all my life, and I don't even know who I am. I'm lost. I'm depressed. I told you a Moment of Harmony has a reading circle. And in the reading circle, it's a very intimate reading circle. We have a group of women we're reading worthy. And again, like I always say, controversy aside, things that aren't our business aside, Jada talks a lot about gaining the world and being empty in the world she gains. Longing, having a longing for everything that this life tells you is important. Marriage, success, friends, fame, things. She says I had it all. and found myself ready to drive, literally parked at a cliff, ready to drive off of it. Why? Because there were things required along the way that you negated or neglected in order to acquire other things. If you know you need it, don't leave it. If you know you need it, don't leave it. You need reassurance. You need connection. You need genuineness. You need consistency. I know as a giver, there are things I need in the realm of replenishment and reassurance. I know as a gentle being, there are things I need in the realm of unconditional consistency, nurturing. I know I need to, and there are things I don't need. I'm an aqua girl, gang gang. I'm not clingy. I don't need every second of every minute. I don't need everything to belong to me. I don't need to be the star of the show. There are things I don't need. But there are requirements that I do have that I cannot leave trying to get to other things that I can possibly have. As you are on your journey to acquire a better, healthier, fuller life, as you're on your journey to acquire the things of your wish list and of your desires, do not ever sleep on, fall back on, minimize, or lose sight of what is required for you to function. What is required, this is how we get to the ends of marriages and they fall apart. Because we acquired things, time, years, history, children, assets. Again, we acquired things, but we required things that we stepped over to get to the acquisition. We stepped over the communication, the connection, the respect, the acknowledgement. We stepped over the friendship. There were things that were required in order for us to be successful. And we stepped over those personal successes for to be able to acquire some other successes. We did not balance them, no my God, and we did not make them holistic. Do not be so focused on acquiring. Listen, easier said than done. Easier said than done. You see something you like, you see something you resonate with, you see something that's important to you, you see something that you know is a part of your wish list. It's so much easier just to go after, what do I have to do to get this? What do I have to do to obtain this? What do I have to do to secure this? Whatever, especially when you got a hustler mentality. I'm gonna go get her. I'm just gonna go get her. But sometimes when I go get, I may forget me. I may go get them, go get her, go get him, go get it, and forget me. A moment of harmony today, we're saying when you reflect on you too. You. What about you? What do you need? Are you okay? I probably ask people if they're okay 1,000 times in a day. Have peace. Every professional phone call, all day at work. My children always, are you okay? Do you need anything? You good? All day. Reflect on you too. Reflect on you too. Don't go after acquisition. Do not go to acquire without giving the requirements to self. Last part. What is for you is for you. A lot of times it becomes so easy to lose sight of self because we're going after things that we think are for us, that we believe are for us, that present themselves as for us. So we think that in investing and giving and going hard, that we're still doing something for ourselves. This can be a very common illusion in growth, social development, and coming together with others. Because we will feel like, well, you tell me that you love me, or you show me love, or you show me you care, or you support me. So it's okay to invest into this energy, because not only will I be giving you all I want and need to give to you, but I feel like because you are connected to me, all the love I give is going to come back. We do this with our children. We do this with our loved ones. We do this with our co-workers, right? And then we get lost in the sauce because we start to realize that some of the things we're pouring to is not necessarily in alignment with our requirements. It's not going to give me what I need. I thought that it was doing what I needed to be done as well, but I'm kind of seeing this as one track or one-sided, or you know what, uneven, imbalanced. And we can't get, and it's easy. I know for me, I mean, 9 times out of 10, any engagement I have almost works out that way. 9 times out of 10. And I'm saying professionally, platonically, romantically, familially, family-wise. Almost everyone I get to is kind of like, I thought I thought this was going to be beneficial for us. I thought this was beneficial, like mutually. And oftentimes you understand that it's not a little late after you've put so much of yourself, so much of your hope, so much of your focus. So here's the thing. What's for you is going to be for you. As soon as things start to work out of alignment with your assignment, as soon as things start to work out of alignment with your spirit, as soon as there is a discomfort, and I'm not saying growth with others, I'm not saying connection to others, learning and adjusting and coming together, that can be an uncomfortable process. I'm saying more specifically, you are giving and you are breaking and you are undergoing a process that is not serving you, that is draining you, that is not mutually uplifting, empowering, and enlightening and illuminating your life. And I mean, because when we give sacrifice, like let's say we go to school and we sacrifice fun time or hanging out and movies and dates, and we sacrifice these things to buckle down to graduate. See, even in the learning, when you're graduating, even in going through your books and your research, you're growing. That's how we know this is a sacrifice, because it's still doing something for me. So it's for me. The difference between a sacrifice and complete negligence, completely negating, completely removing yourself, disconnecting from self, is that when you give, you don't feel anything in return. You don't feel fulfilled. So I'm going to go to this birthday party. I'm showing up, for this friend. I'm coming to this job. But I am coming every time full and leaving feeling empty. I leave the discussion empty. I leave the session empty. I leave the party. I leave the conversation. I leave the interaction. I leave the intimate space and I feel empty. I probably didn't check in with my requirements. I probably knew that they weren't being met and I did not pay as close attention as I needed to. Because if it was for me, if this job is for me, if this relationship is for me, if this project is for me, if this thing is for me, it's going to work for me. It uplifts me. It empowers me. It motivates me. It stimulates me. Most of all, it heals me. It connects me. It completes me in certain areas. If it's for you, it's going to be for you. Meaning, what are my needs? Let's think about a plant. We're going to make this simple because I got to get out of here. Let's think about a plant. You will never catch a plant growing where it can't have sun, water, and soil, right? It's just not, these are the requirements. It's literally how you make a plant grow. You'll never catch a baby that can be born without, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but without the egg and the sperm. Maybe we can say that. You'll never catch a baby growing without those. These are the requirements. The basics of level, the requirements of creation. These two things. Naturally, let me throw that in because the world is going crazy. Naturally, these are the requirements. Now, you'll never catch a plant saying, I do need the sun, but maybe I'll just, let me see. I'll go a little bit without the sun and see maybe I'll get the sun later. Maybe we can work towards me getting the sunlight. I'll just take the soil and the water because you got that. We do that. We do that with jobs. We do that with goals. We do that in relationships. We'll go without a major requirement. Now, what do you think will happen to a plant that says, you don't have sun? You got water, you got soil, no sun? I'm going to keep going. Let's see what happens. We know what's going to happen. You'll never see 100 times for many of us who have children and then we stopped having children. It was because we were able to stop a requirement in the process. You're not going to, point blank and simple, you're not going to get a baby if an egg doesn't meet sperm. You're never going to get a baby that comes about that was like, it wasn't really any sperm, but the egg is here and I'm hopeful and we'll see. The requirements. The requirements. The plant is stop. I want us to stop looking back over our journeys and trying to heal in places where our requirements weren't met. And trying to move forward and build in places where requirements aren't being made. Reflect on you too. You have needs. You deserve things. You're worthy of them. You deserve the things that you worked hard for. You are not in any way obligated to repeat cycles and patterns. You are not in any way obligated to go without anything that you need. I know I'm not preaching, I'm sharing. I have to have that conversation with myself frequently. You are not in any way obligated to go without anything that you need. If you need it, it's non-negotiable. If you need it, it's non-negotiable. And this works for our past too. If you needed it, it was a non-negotiable. And if you didn't get it, this is why you had the result that you had. Embrace it, acknowledge it, nurture it, grow through it. You are not in any way obligated to go without anything that you need. And that's hard. That is so hard sometimes. Because sometimes almost everything we want is in this almost package. This oh so close. We're so patient. We're so optimistic. We're so hopeful. This chick right here. But I am in a space right now. I just put up a Harmony original that says everything is the goal, not something. I don't want anything. I don't want just something. Because I'm not just anybody. I'm not just somebody. I want all that I deserve. And even more importantly than all I deserve, because these things can come with development, I want all I need. And I'm not going to wait for what I need later on. I could die without what I need. I'm not about to sit in a basement as a plant saying one day I'll get sun. You might not see one day if you don't have the sun. And that's how we have to be and where we need to be with ourselves. Just as serious, you matter too. You have feelings too. You need development too. You have trauma too. You have to be nurtured also. You're equally as important. You deserve just as much consideration and fairness and support and love and care. And if it's just not there, no harm, no foul. It's just not there. This new position being offered, just doesn't have everything I need. I know I need work-life balance. It's not even an option anymore. I have children. My health, my age, my everything is changing. I know what I need now. Some things are non-negotiable. I can't go with minimum wage. I can't even talk about that. That's not a need. I need a certain salary. I need a specific environment. I need my requirements. I'm not going to just go acquire a job without the requirements of the career that I have set for myself. I'm not saying we don't crawl. I'm not saying we don't get to. I don't say we don't build up to. But some of us are in patterns unnecessarily. You've been there and you've done that. You've paid your dues. You've learned your lessons. You graduated from those classes. Stop putting yourself in the back of the class now. You know what you need. It's not I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to find it. You know. Act like you know. Act like you know. Act like you know how important you are. Act like you know how necessary you are. Act like you know the greatness you're going to become and how beautiful you're going to grow with everything you need. The flower just sits under the rain and the sun and the soil, and it just grows because it has everything that it needs. It moves towards the sun because it's needed. Move towards your needs. Acknowledge your needs. Love yourself. I'm going to get up and get out of here. I have to get this Sunday popping. Thank you again for joining me for another Sunday moment. I hope you have a beautiful and extraordinary week. I hope you think about you too. I hope you love you too. I hope you give to you too. I hope you bend over backwards for you too. Reflect on you too. I love you so much. I hope you take really good care of yourself. And absolutely, without a doubt, go on out your way to take care of someone else this week also. But I love you. I'll see you for another Moment of Harmony next week.